Back with another video here, a forecasting video here. My name is Sam. I am a weather forecaster, and if you already haven't known, I am an Eagles fan. But yeah, let's jump right into it here. Starting off with the GFS model here, we do have some snow already working past into the New England states as we go into tomorrow morning, and then that'll persist into around, let's say, maybe midday Monday into the early afternoon hours, and that'll quickly move on out. And then we're mainly dealing with some quiet conditions with the exception of the West Coast, as we have some pretty decent rain falling there around Monday. And that'll keep on persisting, even some heavy rain for parts of central Northern California too, and up into those higher elevations, we could be dealing with some heavy snow. But that'll go on for about Wednesday, Tuesday, and that'll move across the Rocky Mountains. That'll form our next storm system here. Keep in mind, this is 81 hours out, so this is a few days out going into late next week here, or I should say this week, because today is Sunday. But yeah, some heavy rain, even some ice and some snow, all with the system. But we could be even seeing some travel impacts here, as we do have some ice, even some heavy ice for parts of Wisconsin, for parts of Michigan, even going into the Northeast too as well. So this will be probably an impactful system, not probably, but more of a likely impactful system, as we do have a lot of forms of precipitation that might fall, whether it be rain, snow, or even sleet or just freezing rain. All of those have an impact, especially freezing rain, where rain falls and as it hits a surface it'll freeze, and that will be probably a big problem there on slick roads and that sort of stuff. But this is not too far out either. This is around, let's say, 5 days out, which is not really all that far out, but do keep in mind that this is about 100 hours out. So this could shift a little bit, but what we probably do know is that this most likely form. It just depends on when it forms and where it forms. So that's going to move across the northern US, and that'll just put in more of a cold pattern here for parts of central, northeastern US, Midwest, you name it. But the southeast, we're just dealing with this ridge that won't move. Warm weather. It doesn't seem like we're going to be getting a cool down until maybe even mid-February. But that is a little bit too far out, but we'll see. There have been some significant pattern changes over the last few runs of the models here, but this is the European. I think I said GFS, correct me if I'm wrong earlier in the video, but yeah, we do have this storm system that is on the European, not the GFS. And speaking of the GFS, we do have the GFS rendering 18Z, so it already has rendered. But here we go here. It still shows that system. I do think that this is pretty good agreement here, if you're asking me. I think it's a little bit further south too, but it's not as aggressive as the European with this winter storm, if you want to even call it that. Well, I might just call it winter storm, a potential winter storm here on the GFS and the European model here, and it really shows some ice, some snow, even some rain, a lot of forms of precipitation here. So wherever that 540 line steps up will determine if the snow sticks and the rate of the snow or the precipitation that might fall. But all in all, I think this system might be impactful. I just don't think it's going to be a major winter storm or whatever. It might cause some minor to potentially even moderate impacts on those roads. So do keep in mind if you're traveling here, just just know that if you're driving up here for parts of the Northeast, even parts of the Midwest, keep in mind that there will be some slick roads, and it tries to form a northeaster too, which is a little bit interesting, but not as of a northeaster because it doesn't have uh, pretty strong winds with it, which might limit a blizzard. But snow, just expect some snow if you're up there in the northeast, and of course this could shift a little bit, but the models are probably telling us that a storm system will form. It just depends on the timing, uh, the place, or the location, whatever. But that's the GFS. I don't want to go far. I don't want to go too far out, but GFS is basically telling us, hey, the cold air is trying to move farther south, and that will promote a pattern change here as we've been dealing with warm temperatures all across the United States. But a pattern change is developing here. Cold air from Canada is trying to dip farther south and south, known to be the 540 line that you're seeing here on the GFS, which that is cold air, and then the the red lines are warmer air, um, which that's above 32 degrees, and the blue is below 32 degrees or aft. So there's something for y'all there. But if we do take a look at the temperatures here, go to the anomalies here. So we kind of get the picture of how cold or how warm you guys will be above average or below average. So basically, right now we're dealing with a lot of above average temperatures as I'm making this video. But in the Northeast, we're gonna have a little bit of a below average type few days here, because of a storm system that is going through there, around tomorrow into parts of Tuesday, which might bring some cold air with it. Also, as that is developing, the blue, pink, and even some whites are cold air, Canadian air, and that is trying to push its way into the south. But we do have some pretty warm temperatures here in the southeast too. And as that is developing there, we got some pretty cold temperatures from Canada trying to make its way further south into the United States, and that'll probably do its thing too, as we get a big push of Arctic air really surging in across the United States here. And that is really going to put a lot of people in below average, a lot, with the exception of Florida, where they're going to deal with some 80s and 70s and all that. But we're going to be having a little bit of a pattern shift here. But in the meantime, for the next couple of days, we're going to be dealing with the warm or above average temperatures. But that's that. If we take a look at the European for that scenario, see if they have it. Okay, they do. Good. Let's see what we got here. All right, yeah, like I said, we got some warm temperatures here, and that Canadian air is really trying to push its way into the United States. And at the same time, we got some pretty warm temperatures in the south central US too as well. So, wow. So above average temperatures for the next few days. But as that Canadian air kicks in, we're really going to be dealing with a lot of people below average, according to both the GFS and the European model. Which that's going to promote some pretty cool conditions for a lot of people. I don't think we're done with winter at all. But this, both of the models are showing us that we're going to be having a pattern shift, where a lot of people are going to be dealing with cold temperatures or below average temperatures, and that'll probably be the main theme as we get into the next couple of weeks. One last thing here, the severe weather. If we do take a look at the GFS, let me get this uploaded. Okay. Supercell composite. So this is a supercell composite, which tells us where you guys can be dealing with some unstable conditions for severe weather, and this is basically a product of where severe weather is possible and the tornado where a tornado is possible. So we got some, supercell composite of 1 to 2, not really too major, but a marginal risk cannot be ruled out, even for parts of the southeast or mid-Atlantic. But like I said, we do have cold air trying to intervene here. So whenever severe weather tries to develop, will probably not do so into the cold pattern we're going to be flipping here. So yeah, not a lot of severe weather, honestly. There's some minor storms that might have the potential to produce some severe storms. Not talking any outbreaks in the near term, but as we get into later into the month, and especially March, we're probably going to have that change. But in the meantime, expect some cold conditions for a lot of people in the next, let's say, week. Maybe even persist into parts of mid-February for a lot of people. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in into this live stream. It has been or not live stream video. There's been a lot of stuff we could talk about, but I just want to keep it short and simple. There might have been errors or whatever, just like in the last video where we had a error in my editing. So this video is a little bit better, I'd say, as I got a little bit of experience, but I'll do better in the future. Let me know if y'all should, if I should do other content, but the weather is pretty quiet, honestly, which that might be a good thing. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in again in this video, not live stream. I keep saying live stream, but I said video this time. So I'll catch y'all later in the next weather forecast video or any content I put out there. So I will see y'all in the next video.